I'm Amber O'Neal Johnston, also known as Heritage Mom online, a homeschooling mother of four, an author, speaker, and the founder of a homeschooling nonprofit.
Just a few hats that you're wearing there. That's all.
Just a couple.
Um, so can you tell us first how you came to homeschooling and other forms of unconventional education for your own family as a parent?
Mhm. Honestly, my husband was the major champion of this. I am the daughter of two public school principals, so the thought of my kids, not going to school wasn't something that I'd ever fathomed. But he found out about it and was very adamant that he wanted us to at least try it with our children. And as I started researching what that could look like, I was immediately kind of taken by it because I had gone through, regular school system and had gotten straight A's and a full academic scholarship to college. Like I knew how to work that system. And yet I felt unfulfilled on the other end of it as an adult, feeling like there were so many conversations I couldn't be a part of because of things I didn't know. I lacked passion, didn't care for many things, didn't have as many interests as I would hope for. And so this idea that he was laying before me also connected with the idea that I could raise my children differently, to really value education, to be true lifelong learners, and not just to get straight A's, but to learn for the sake of learning and for the sake of connection. So that's how we kind of jumped in.
Hmm. And your kids are they all sort of almost teenagers, or you still have a couple that are in the little
So I
phase?
have a 16-year-old daughter who's at the ACT as we speak.
Oh, good luck to
Yeah,
her.
yes. I have a 14-year-old daughter, a 12-year-old boy, and a 10-year-old boy. So elementary, middle school, and two high schoolers.
Got it covered. Right. So one of the things, as you and I have been talking over the last couple of years, that I've been seeing a fair amount of coverage of, and it appears in the data as well, is that a greater proportion of Black families are considering or going down the path of unconventional education. Does that ring true for you? And if so, why do you think that is?
Absolutely. I mean, we've seen it in the growth and development, even with the support group that I run here in the Atlanta area. And I think really it's coming from a couple of major things. During COVID, a lot of Black families who had never considered homeschooling and had never experienced being home with their children full time got to have that experience. And quite frankly, they enjoyed it. They enjoyed their kids. They enjoyed the slower days, the slower pace of life, the time that they were spending together, just like what you could see in any other family. But it was something that isn't really talked about as much in our community. So I think it was this really new and novel opportunity that came from, a pretty terrible situation. It was the silver lining. So I think in the simplest idea, they love their children. We love our kids and want to spend as much time with them as possible, and found out that this is really beautiful and it feels really good and it's a good fit for their family. So I think that's part of it. The other part of it is a desire to protect, a desire to protect their children from all the things that adults are arguing about online and in the news right now, particularly wanting to be able to really put to the forefront Black American contribution to this country, and without any filtering or finagling and without any interference from the outside, to be able to share a fuller truth, and without worrying about racism and microaggressions and all the different things that come along with every experience we have when we release our children from our homes to go anywhere. And so I think this idea that here in this house, within these walls, and when the children are with me, I can allow them to grow in who they are and give them a sense of self without interference from the outside world.
That's
And that
fabulous.
doesn't mean I don't, I don't have my kids in a bubble. They're out there meeting people and doing everything, but I'm usually there. And so I think it's not that I'm trying to keep them from people in general, but I am trying to keep them from some people. And it's been a really great way to kind of cultivate or curate a really sweet childhood.
So that leads really naturally into this idea of heritage, which as part of your brand. I'd love for you to talk a little bit about what does heritage specifically mean for you, and then why do you think that's important for families and children in general?
So I think heritage is a connection to the people that you come from and that you're around and that you're a part of. So, of course, there's the biological heritage, but when I talk about it, it's even broader than that. Just feeling that you belong, this feeling of deep, abiding belonging in your home, which I speak about a
Mm.
lot. Yes. My book, A Place to Belong, but also this belonging in your community, feeling valued and important, and at the same time valuing other people. So I always say, I want my children to know that they are the most amazing people with stories to tell that matter. They have so much to give the world, but they're not any more amazing than other people who also have their stories to tell. And I want my kids to be really good listeners. So I think that another thing I like about heritage is everybody has it. Whether you know a lot about it, whether however you define it, everyone has a heritage. And I love that we can help our children cling to something that no one gets left out of. I think
Wow.
I'm an unlikely homeschooler, and was not something that we ever planned. I didn't grow up like a little girl dreaming of doing this, but it has been one of the most defining things in our family life, and I'm just so thankful that we had this opportunity with our kids.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much, Amber. This is fabulous. Really
Okay.
appreciate it. Have a good rest of your weekend. Good luck to your daughter on the ACTs. I know she's going to knock them dead.
Yeah.
All
Thank you
right.
so
Take
much.
care.
I'll
Have
talk
a
to you
good one.
later.
Bye.
Bye.